Como Estas. And his name was Pablo Escobar. I miss Agent Murphy. I miss Narcos. What a fantastic series. YouTube, how are we? I'm off to Crayford to film episode number 2 of the Level Up, a new series that I'm very excited to bring to the members site. Filming has started. Did episode number 1 yesterday. Over the duration of the next 4 or so months, we'll not only be working on my own physique, and we'll be documenting that through training sessions, but we'll also be going into the business side of things and the behind the scenes, what work is needed for the release of what we will be producing next year. Also, thank you to Stacey from the Hill Hub for showing me around the Dartford site yesterday.
It'll be nice and light. I can send you CGI and all that sort of stuff so you know what the final product will look like.
They open their doors on November 6th, so we'll be getting a private office in there, and very excited to start laying down some content for YouTube, Instagram and the members site. Nice just to have an office, you know, the TMC HQ. Anyway, big scoop of pre-workout today. I'm with Josh and Joe. I'm after that 5 plates on the Cybex. I'll see you in there.
Out of the way.
You got to stop being so humble in the new range, yeah? GG will outweigh us all. Got this is like behind the scenes.
Yeah, I have. Oh yeah, brilliant.
You got your camera as well, Joe?
Yeah, mate.
You got the little one, yeah, point maybe. And shoot, yeah.
There you go. We got all 3 then. The little bits here and there.
I'm gonna I need to level with you here. I need to make a very clear and concise point. I'm getting really fucked off with online coaches on Instagram. Be an online coach, they said. Work on a beach, they said. Hey, listen, I've got a girlfriend who's a children's social worker, a dad, a teacher in an inner city college, a mum who's a fucking psychiatric nurse, yeah? Mental health nurse. These people have real fucking hard jobs. So stop all this, be an online coach. You can still do your check-ins from a beach. I can go to Marbella, I can fly to Ibiza, I can go to Mykonos, and I can still be accountable for my clients, okay? So let's just drop it, yeah? Because you're coming across as fucking idiots. Point made, let's all chill out now. Let's calm down, okay? Point's been made, let's move on. Post-workout meal going in, fantastic session, hit the 5 plates. I'll try and get Gigi to send me some footage and put it in either before or after this clip. Yeah. Woo! Yeah.
Come on.
Hey! One.
Come on.
Hey! Yes. Yeah. Big.
I'll tell you what, we've had some issues at this house.
Shock horror, waiting for Joe again.
I know.
At his own gym.
Yeah, he's lived like 10 minutes away, doesn't he? I feel a bit rusty when I'm... How do you...
Just the 3rd session. It's just 3 sessions this week you've done together.
Yeah, we've done it before.
I'm fucking sick of these 2. And dinner last night.
I'm about to get a fucking cluster strap. I'm going to put it on Brandon Harding's head.
No, you can't.
You ruined the clip.
I'll keep it in. Doesn't mean nothing.
Keep song up. Try living. Yeah, come on. Good. Yeah, a couple more like that with me. Start strong. I hope you stop. Here we go. Come on, drive now. Drive. Good. One more with me. Come on. Now. Come, drive through. Come on.
Fucking hell. 3 sets of hamstrings done. In tatters. Decided to warm up with a ham curl, some prime leg extensions, then we'll go into a hack. These boys have been hacking on the Cybex for a few weeks. I've been on the pre-core one at Crayford, so very well aware that the Cybex is quite heavy. So we'll see how we go on.
Oh, they're actually different. Good. Lock things on. Come on. Here we go. Good. Pull in. Pull in. Good. Come on. Here we go. Here we go. Oh. Nice.
Yeah! I'm gonna stay on that 12 and a 3.
Alright.
Otherwise I'm done for this. Couple warm-ups done on the hack, 4 plates aside. So it's a weird territory when you don't really know what is respectable. I think the top set for Josh is like 5 and a bit plates, so. Yeah.
Come on in.
Oi!
Push.
Hey!
Likewise. Come on!
Yeah, let's go 2, come on.
Easy. Hot. Smooth.
1.
Still there. Push.
Let's go again, come on.
Come on, stay on it, stay on it, stay on it. Hot. Okay.
5 plates for 10, 4 plates for 15. I'll take that. These lot were doing 6 plates for 6. So I said by my birthday in 3 weeks time I want 6 plates. So hopefully we get it. Last movement now. Me and Joe have got a cluster 4x4, and I think Josh has got rest pause. So I'm gonna load up the hammer strength.
Easy 4. Good there. Heels. Let's think quads. Knees. Yeah. This one's just feel it out. That's it, that's it. There we go. That's 1, 2, 1, 2, like this one. It's still fresh. We go again. Come on then. Number 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Think about any quads on the way down all the time. Yeah. Own it. It's easy, Tom, mate. It's easy. And again, here we go. Yep.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
No working 8 reps, mate. It's 1 normal set. Still fresh now, Tom.
Yeah.
Still fresh.
Okay.
Own it on the way down.
Yeah.
Let me fucking fire up. Here we go.
Yes.
Come on. Yes, Tom. That's fucking perfect. Yeah. Come on then. Perfect, mate. Perfect. 3 and 4. 3 and 4. Yeah. Good. 1 more. Up. Yes. Don't even need to hide, mate. 1 last one.
Ooh. Nasty.
Come here on this one, we don't need it.
Nasty. Oh. Okay.
Let's go.
Okay, Joe. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not touching this.
Yeah. No. Don't touch it.
Come on. Yes, Tom. Made that last rep look like the first. Good. Yeah. Good, mate. Good. Of course. That's easy, mate. You're fine. Yeah. Come on.
And a day off.
Yes. Yeah. Up. Yeah, Tom.
Online, click and collect or on in-store today, so you can get your job done and get home to right up the bar. It's why we've been trusted by the trade since 1979.
Support max is very much needed after that session. My word. 2 scoops going in. This is the cherry. I said to Rich at Strom, you got to make this into a pre-workout because this, you know, cherry drops, the sweets. It's like them mixed with twangers. So good. Training at the moment, my word, I've never been this strong in my entire life on the amount of gear, the amount of food. It is incredible. Right. I could eat that all day. So grateful to have the boys training, honestly. It's taken me into a realm I've never been in before. And I know strength is relative, but I'm 95 kg at the moment. And Josh 108, Joe a little more, I think. And I'm closing the gap. I'm closing the strength gap. We've trained before, sort of 6 months ago, and the gap was bigger. I'm closing that down. Legs matched Josh on a few. First time on a Cybex hack. 5 felt smooth. The incline Cybex again. The shoulder. It's moving very well at the moment. And I know it's not going to last forever. And it's important that we understand this as bodybuilders, that, you know, we can only ride this wave for so long, and then we have to, you know, psychologically go, okay, it's time to pull back a little bit. But my God. So anabolics at the moment, we're on 200 meg test and 200 meg primo, and food's around about the 3,200 mark, I think. So lowest amount of food, lowest amount of anabolics that I've been on for a long time. I've done a lot more in blast, you know, on MPP and orals and test prop, but feel healthy. Blood work, or blood came back fine. Blood pressure as well in a good area. So feeling healthy, strength's on the up, and yeah, making some progression. Time for my post-workout meal. I'm gonna leave it a bit actually, just because I'm so fucked. It's time to talk. Hey, it's time to talk with your friendly neighbourhood Spider-Man. So there's a couple of parts in this title. Hey YouTube, if you're watching this, some little geezer at a computer, demonetize. This is solely for educational purposes. I'm not recommending anybody to take anabolics at all. I'm merely chatting about it, okay? So give me the money, motherfucker. It's not a lot of money, YouTube. It's about 100 quid a month, but it pays 2 weeks shopping. So I had a young, I was going to say young kid. I was going to say young kid, that makes me sound really old. A young gentleman, and this is like a common theme amongst a lot of the younger generation, both in person. Hey, do come over at Crayford if I'm ever in the gym. I always get, oh, I didn't want to come over. Come over. Maybe not mid-set or post 4x4 muscle round set. Someone asked me for a picture the other day, and I just did 280 on the Cybex 4x4, and I was maybe give it a couple of minutes. But that theme is, and it goes along the lines of, I've been training now for 3 or so years. I'm thinking of competing in a year or two's time, and I want to take an off season out, jump on anabolics, try and gain tissue, and then go and compete. And again, I want to assess this from 2 different scenarios. The first one is, what is the best time to compete? There's never a standard. There's never like, it must be 3 years. You must naturally train for 3 or 4 years, because I've seen some people, I've come across some individuals with incredible genetics that have been training for a year and they're stage ready. You know, they're at a condition where if they pulled a little bit off and managed to maintain tissue, they could compete at quite a high standard naturally. So there's never just a one size fits all. You must wait until year 4 and then you can jump on stage. It completely differs from person to person. I think it's vital at that stage where you are considering competing, where you reach out to a coach and you send some pictures over, or you meet in person to person, and they can give a far better understanding, a picture of, look, you need to improve on this, bring up the delts, bring up the legs a little bit, back's not great, we need to improve some thickness, and then they can decide, once you've put in a good off season, naturally, and we'll come on to that, that you can jump on stage. Okay, so that ties into the point about anabolics, and it seems like, and not that they're to blame, not that we or Callum or Dr. Dean St. Mark are to blame, but I think the way in which anabolic steroids are now transitioning and moving in the fitness industry, where we are we're trying to put as much light on it as possible, and what you'll see is a lot of us lot that are saying, look, taking a low dose testosterone cycle is relatively safe, in the sense that if we can get our blood work done pre, intra and post, and we can push our testosterone levels just into that super physiological range, and we can maintain and ensure that estrogen isn't becoming too elevated with the use of maybe Primo or Proviron, then for a 10-week cycle we could yield very good gains with a very low risk environment. I think that message is causing too many younger guys and girls to see that and go, right, I'm just going to jump on steroids. So that's what I feel like is the only, not necessarily downside, because I think it's vital that me and many others in the industry, Joe Jeffries for example, are putting out that education, because it needs to be cemented. We need to detach ourselves from this 500 milligrams of testosterone per week cycle that you see on forums. Bash yourself with AIs, which are going to impact lipids and cause all sorts of problems for a first cycle. Having said that, I don't want people to just think that, okay, look, I've trained 3 years naturally, I can jump on and enter a cycle in a very safe way. I've got people that can look over, and we can have guidance, and we can have check-ins and Skypes and things like that. What I think is important is that you eke as much out of natural bodybuilding as possible. My biggest regret is jumping on far too early. I always use Josh Bridgman as a prime example of what you should be doing. An individual that had trained for 6 or 7 years naturally, competed naturally, then made the jump to start anabolics, and only benefited his physique hugely through having that 7 or so year period, training naturally, competing naturally. In goes anabolics at a relatively low dose, boom. The response is incredible. Then you compete in assisted shows, clean up. I saw Josh last year when we went up north, it looked incredible. So to that individual that came up to me in Crayford, and to many others on Instagram, we need to detach ourselves from this idea and understanding that in order to compete, we must have this year out where we take anabolics and get as big as possible. Squeeze the blood out of your natural bodybuilding stone before you even consider thinking about taking anabolics. If we were to put a cap, if we were to put like a stamp on it, 5, 6, 7 years. Who's to say that you still can't progress naturally? You look at the likes of Team 3D MJ, Nunes for example. These guys are still adding tissue, very small amounts. I mean, we're talking grams. Of course, as you continue your training career, and you continue competing and going into off-season gaining phases, that amount of tissue that you can accrue each year is gonna shrink massively. Okay, but you would say if that first 6 or 7 years is stellar, you have a coach and progression is being made, then at that point, once you've maybe got a couple of shows under your belt, you can go, right, I've competed naturally, placed well, it's time to make the jump. So that is my 2 cents. 6 minutes. I'm impressed. I had 10 in my mind, so we can talk a little bit more. So that's my 2 cents on the situation. I don't want this, new younger guys coming into the industry, seeing the likes of Dean and Joe, myself and Callum and many others that have said, look, taking low dose anabolics, low dose testosterone is probably not going to cause much of a negative effect. Of course, there is that potential that fertility issues could come into play. You could be one of those unlucky ones that take anabolics and are screwed for the rest of your life. You must you must pursue your natural bodybuilding career before you start taking anabolics. Use me as an example. I mean, I wasn't training and eating correctly before I even started my cycle. I remember going to Lewisham College, training with Luke, and thinking, yeah, look, I'll jump on. Sick and tired of going out clubbing and taking recreational drugs, so I'm going to stop that and let's maybe try this, you know, experiment with steroids. Let's not use me as an example. Use someone like Josh, use someone, you know, other individuals that have you know, squeezed as much out of that natural bodybuilding career and training and competing as much as possible. So I hope that clears a few things up. I will recap. When you are looking to compete, there is no timestamp. There is no you must hit that 3 years before you get your certificate and you can compete. I've seen guys that have trained for a year and look remarkable and stage ready. Get yourself a coach. Coaches, especially competitive coaches that do coach physique athletes, will have a you know, right, pictures, boom, 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 we need to work on this, yes, we can compete then. Go into a junior, go into a novice, first timers, they will be the guide for you. In terms of the anabolics, let's really push it back. You know, we could even look at that 7th to 8th year of training naturally and competing naturally as well before you make a jump. And then when you do make a jump, that's a whole different video in terms of what to take, doses and things like that. So there we go. I'm gonna go and sign my contract now for this private office that I'm really excited to start laying, because this is nice and that, but I want an office and I want to put tape. I want to put tape on my office floor, so when I put the tripod up, the camera's there. Do you know what I mean? It's the OCD. Anyway, I hope you could take a few things from this video. I'll see you very soon in the next one. Thank you, good night. Much love.
Sheep was saying, don't start, got me feeling at the same time. Look, one part but we're peeling in the same shine. Say, so dark, got a needle in the brain, is fine.